Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. My name's Dennis. Today we're going to talk about the newest case that I've just received from Be Quiet. So again, not sponsored, they don't pay me, none of that good stuff. Wish I was, but anyhow. They sent me the case, the Pure Base 500. It's one of their newer cases. We're going to get it out of the box, we're going to have a look at it, and see if it's, see how good it is. Did one here before, it's now my main system, and it's it's pretty fantastic. And so let's see if the other one is comparable. I mean, it's smaller, so it's not going to be quite the same. It's going to have the charging features that this one has or nothing like that, but yeah, let's have a look. So we received our box today. It was a little bit beaten up a bit, a little dented here. Hopefully there's no damage to the case itself, but we'll get it out of the box and have a look. Okay, so get it out of the box. I'll have a quick look at it. I've already cut it open just so I can see what it looked like. So it weighs about 8 pounds for the case. Comes with some styrofoam to keep it together. This is broke a little bit here, but better the styrofoam breaks than the case itself. So let's get that off. So take the plastic off from the bottom. Okay, so what's moving is this top panel. Okay, so it comes with a top panel, sound insulating, so you can put that on here. Okay, fits in place, or you can reverse it. Okay, pop it off and go the other route. Just a couple different options for you to have. And of course, if you don't want that at all, then you just have the top of the case. So taking this panel off, there's 2 adaptive screws, one here, one here. Just a matter of loosening them. Okay, it's meant to stay in place. Same with this one here. Let's take it out a little bit, and then you just have a little handle here. You pull it, and then it comes right off. And on the inside, sound dampening. So before we go over the inside, let's take the back panel off and have a look inside that. Pretty much the same thing. You've got your adaptive screws. Actually, that was pretty loose, actually. And so let's turn it around so you can see. And again, just pull on it. And it comes off. Nice solid panel. Again, insulated on the inside. So, as its case is called, Be Quiet. That's what you want. You want it to be quiet. So here's all your internal parts. So what this is in case you don't like that other top panel, they have provided a mesh case. Okay, you got your Be Quiet on there, and of course that'll give you a little bit of insulating factor, and it sits on the top pretty nice. And again, reversible. It'll set there either way. That way, if you like it that way. Preference is yours. So a lot of features. I'm not sure which one I like. I think I like it better the other way. So there we go. I suppose you can put them both on. Not really. Anyway, I digress. Let's get going. Let's get that off. So you've seen them both. So you've seen the back. You've got about, let me see here. Well, it's not a lot of room. You got a bit of space for cable management, but would like to have seen just a touch more. But I think it'll be fine because it's got lots of tie downs. Okay, lots of tie downs all over the place here. And you've got room for 1, 2, 3, and 4 SSDs. And of course you could fit one into the hard drive cage, which is where all your tools and everything are. You're just going to haul that box out. And all your accessories, everything is going to be in here. We'll get to that in a minute. And of course, that's where all your cables for your case are at. So what do we got? First we have our normal power. Oh, yeah, power, PLED, positive and negative. We have our HD audio. I'm guessing that's what this is. Yeah, and we have our USB 3.0. So that's enough for that for now. Now, the nice thing with this case over some of their previous cases is you got room in here for good sized power supplies. You're going to have no problem putting that in there. Okay, this does come off. If you need to take this off, there's a screw right here. You just undo that. Okay, again, it's an adaptive screw, and it just pops off. right? And so actually you have room to put a couple more SSDs. Pretty cool. And you can just have it open if you wish, just to, I don't know, what, maybe more airflow. All right, so let's turn it around and have a look at the inside. All right, so as simple as that. And one thing that's on the bottom I just noticed is a little manual. So of course it comes in metallic gunmetal gray, black, which is the one I've got, and white. Now you can get it windowed, so you have a transparent side window on it as well, in case you're interested in that. And the manual they provide is very detailed. It tells you, it shows you everything. Like it tells you how it all comes apart, where everything is at. So pretty good. Shows you all your specs. And of course it has a power supply shroud. Okay, so when we get to the inside, it comes with two included 140 millimeter Be Quiet fans, one in the front, middle, and one in the back for your rear exhaust. The power supply shroud is perforated, so airflow can come up from that. So no issues there. And of course, same thing on the top. Okay, a couple other features on the inside to notice is there are no rubber grommets on your openings. And the way they have the big opening here is meant to give you more room. So if you want to replace a CPU cooler, you'll be able to do that without having too much fuss. You've got your opening on the top back here for your CPU cable, for your 8-pin. That's just going to come off usually typically in this area of your motherboard. And you got another one here if you want to do your power, whatever you want to use it for. You got openings here, as I've said. The sizes of the motherboard will take a ATX, micro ATX, mini ITX, and a flex ATX. Now, I don't even know what that is, a flex ATX. Never heard of that before. So put it in the comments. Let me know if you've heard of that before. So here's your I/O shield, place for your shield to go, or your opening for it. You have 7 PCIe slots, so you can get at least 2 graphics cards in there. Taking off your thing for your power supply, you have 4 screws here. Again, they're adaptive. Okay, so they'll come off pretty easy. Then put your power supply on the back of here, okay? And then it'll go back on. So that's off. We're probably going to leave most of this off because we'll probably build in this afterward. Now we have our opening, and cables can come out the side here. All right. And you have, of course, I'm never a big fan of these, but these are, I guess, for water cooling. So you can move these around, but you have to take it off to get at these screws. So anyhow, so it doesn't look like the power supply shroud comes off. So we are going to have a look at the bottom of the case, and we're going to have a look at the front. Okay, so moving on to the front, we have our 2 USB 3.0. I'm finding it interesting that lately 3.0 is now black, where it used to be blue. So I'm not sure why they've done that. But anyway, USB 3.0 times 2. You have your power button and your mic and your headphone. There is no reset switch. So let's have a look a little bit further onto the front of this. And of course, we got our branding down here for Be Quiet, which I kind of like it being situated down there. And we got our front panel. And I don't find it that marks. It doesn't leave fingerprints or anything like that. And to take the cover off, you just pull on the bottom here. Okay, give it a good pull, and it's going to come off. All right. You do have air vents on the side. All right, so it's on both sides, so some air can pass through it. And again, sound insulation on the inside of it. As we have a look on the inside, there's our Be Quiet fan, of course. And of course, if you move it up, you can have room for 2, or you can have 3 120s. So that's always an option there for you. Putting it on and off is pretty simple. So let's move on to the underneath and have a look what's there. But first thing, I believe, yep, here we go. So I'll get that up here so you can see it. Here's our filter in the bottom. Okay, nice good filter. Goes on and off pretty easy. There's a couple little slots right in here. So we're going to have a quick look at the bottom. So like I mentioned, the filter for air is down here for dust and all that kind of good stuff. You got a couple good sized feet, okay, 4 of them, of course, and that sets it up off the ground probably about, I'd say, at least an inch. And my tendency is I take whatever it has, and I'll put a little bit of something on the bottom, like usually something that's like more of a hard surface, and that gets it off a little bit more. That way it prevents dust buildup going into the inside of your computer. So something else I want to point out is there is two screws here, one on both sides. So if you do want to take this little filter, because there's one right here, if you want to take that and remove it, take those out and it'll come off. If you want to wash it or whatever. Same thing with these filters on the side. They can come off. All right, so just to keep that in mind. So the way they come off, there's a couple arrows. There's an arrow here, and of course there's one on the other side. And if you just push on that, you can see where it starts to come up. And if you push hard enough, you'll be able to take this whole thing off, both sides, and you'll be able to clean that as well. So I want to move back to the other side of the case. I want to show you something that I haven't shown you yet, just so you're aware of it. Okay, so a couple of things I want to point out is I mentioned this. So getting on and doing a CPU cooler and stuff. Well, now you can see once I move these cables out of the way, there's a thumb screw right here. So if you undo that, you can take this whole back plate right off. Okay, well, not back plate, but the back part of the case. You can remove this to give you a bigger opening if that's what you want to do. The other thing I want to move down to is our hard drive cage. So your hard drive cage down here, fastened with two screws, and there's a little hole right here on this side, okay? So if you take this off, you can move it over if you want to put a radiator in the front. So just good stuff to know. I mean, this is a fully modular case, so I mean, there's not much you can't do. I would definitely recommend make sure you take all these twist ties and stuff, remove them, all right? Don't leave those on there. And of course, Velcro fasteners are always nice. So I mentioned the motherboard manual, what sizes it fits. Now the manual itself says it fits an ATX, micro ATX, and a mini ATX. But engraved onto the case itself, it also mentions flex ATX. Now I mentioned I didn't know what that was, so maybe that's just something that the factory does or whatever. If you know what flex ATX is, please get back to me and let me know what that is. And a couple of last things I just wanted to mention again is you have room for down here, your drive bays. You've got room for 2 3.5-inch drives or 2 additional or 5 2.5-inch drives, of course, 2 here and 2 here, and there's one spot that I showed earlier on that you can put it in as well. So there's 5 in total. I mean, you can fit 2 here. The bracket that came out of here can fit 2, and of course you could put down another one in here. There's I actually think you could probably get 6, but I could be wrong on that. Now the case itself is made out of steel and plastic, mostly for your top mesh covers and your front panel, all that kind of good stuff. It's all mostly plastic. Just good stuff to know. So something else I wanted to show you is the radiator compatibility and fan compatibility. So you can see how it fits 2 on the top, 1 on the back. It shows you all the different positioning of your radiators. Just something I thought you might like to see. And I move it up here closer so you can see that it's the where it shows the top position, front and rear for the fan, radiators rather, and then for your fans. Just something additional that's always nice to see. So the last thing I wanted to show you is they actually give you a little bit of help for your cable management. So you can see how if you have 2 SSDs here, you run the cable down, goes into your power supply, and then you can have a second one that runs to your hard drives here if you choose to have it that way. And it even gives you an example down here if you want to install 2 SSDs here, run it down to your power supply. So lots of options. One last thing I almost forgot is what's inside our little accessories box. So let's get everything out and let's have a look. So it doesn't feel like there's a whole lot in here. Probably just mostly your screws and stuff, your motherboard, all that kind of good stuff. So it's in the box. I'll toss it out of the way. And I'll get this open. Okay, so there we go. So we got some twist ties. We got our different screws. So some for the motherboard and power supply. Had ones to M3 screws for fastening the SSDs. Your HDD screws and some Velcro ties that, of course, are on the case. And cable ties, like I said. So that's pretty much all you're ever gonna need for most builds, and you probably won't even use all of these. All right, everybody. So if you like that video, you know what to do. Hit that like, hit that subscribe if you're new here. Hit that bell for future notifications. Throughout the video, I'll put up all the different dimensions, all that kind of good stuff. So take a moment, just pause it, have a read for any of the information that. Like detailed information, just so it shortened the video and didn't make it too long. If you have any questions, let me know. If you know what that Flex ATX is, yeah, pass that in the comments. I'd appreciate getting to know that information. So, as always, thanks for watching, and have a great day.